Prime Minister Modi briefed the nation on the war in West Asia. PM Modi spoke of India's strategic autonomy. He spoke of our energy security, the threat to global trade and our people. He warned against rumors, fake news. He urged people to stay alert, vigilant, united. This was a message of responsibility, if not strength, and national unity at a time like this. But the world is looking towards Modi with hope. I'm sure we are aware of the commentary. People are praising his diplomatic balance, his ties with world leaders to help diffuse tension. But the Congress party, viewers, is not pleased. Priyanka Gandhi mocked PM's message. She said, what has Modi said? That is new. The world sees Modi's strength, and even if the Congress does not want to see that, I mean, they're not under any pressure to laud Modi's policy, why should they be mocking PM's message that is meant to protect every Indian? That is in Indian interest, that is in national interest. Sample the reactions.
हम कोरोना के समय भी एकजुटता से ऐसी चुनौतियों का सामना कर चुके हैं। धीरज के साथ, संयम के साथ, शांत मन से हमें हर चुनौती का मुकाबला करना है। भारत ने बीते 11 वर्षों में अपनी एनर्जी इंपोर्ट का डाइवर्सिफिकेशन किया है। पहले क्रूड ऑयल, एलएनजी, एलपीजी ऐसी एनर्जी जरूरतों के लिए 27 देशों से इंपोर्ट किया जाता था। वहीं आज भारत 41 देशों से एनर्जी इंपोर्ट करता है। हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट में फंसे हमारे कई जहाज भारत आए भी हैं। भारत में बड़ी मात्रा में कच्चा तेल, गैस और फर्टिलाइजर जैसी अनेक जरूरी चीजें हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट के रास्ते से आती हैं।
जी, उन्होंने कहा और देश को अवगत किया है कि परिस्थितियां क्या हैं। कुछ ज्यादा नई बात नहीं कही है, लेकिन हमने जो नोटिस दिया है डिस्कशन के लिए, वो डिस्कशन होना चाहिए ताकि हम भी जवाब दे पाए, पूरा सबके पक्ष सामने आए। मेरे ख्याल से वो अच्छा रहेगा।
Let's open this up. Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tushar Gupta, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, leader of the Congress Party. Nikhil Jain, Dr. Piyush Joshi, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Professor Monojit Mandal and Dr. Ranganathan stays on. Ashwini ji, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is saying that what was new in what Prime Minister said? First, the Congress Party demands a statement. All of you imply as if the government is not talking to Parliament, not informing Parliament, that there is some kind of compromise behind the silence. When the PM speaks, then you trivialize the message. What is going on, sir?
It's not trivializing the message, Pranesh. And if you look at the statements from all Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson in last 20 days and put it to an AI summary, I think you'll get the PM speech. That is exactly what PMG did. My party.
No, I'll tell you what the problem is. आप AI को summary के लिए use करते हो और AI event में कपड़े उतारते हैं. वहां आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा था AI summit में when you should have put this strategy of taking shirt off in AI. Asked AI, will this help my party? AI would have told you, no, please, Ashwini ji, stop.
AI summit was the mockery of our nation's credibility, our nation's engineers' credibility. Because if you look at the Galgotia was one classic example. They spent 350 crores and bought one Chinese robot, which our government allowed to present. And there are a lot of equipments, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of laptops.
Now let's get on with this. When Priyanka Gandhi Vadra says that kuch naya nahi bola, can you tell me and the viewers what new did the Congress want to hear? ऐसा क्या बोलते जो खुशी होती है आपको?
You went rhetoric on AI, so I replied in the same language. Now coming back to what we were expecting from Prime Minister or from a leader is, leader has to be visionary, leader has to have a foresight. Leader should not be reactive, leader should be proactive. Now what Modi ji is doing, what this government is doing कि आग लग गई है, आग लगान बुझाने के लिए पानी चाहिए और मोदी जी कुआं खोदने जा रहे हैं. आइडियली आग लगनी ही नहीं चाहिए थी, और अगर आग लगी थी, we should be upfront ready with the water. we are lacking all the seriousness on the such issues. And what Modi and why these issues are there on the first place is that nobody is asking a question. Why are we having this crisis on the first place? The energy crisis. This crisis is there because we changed our Sarve Bhavan to Sukhina policy.
Ashwini ji, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Calm down, please. Spare us this, the moral sermons. 1 minute. It's very rich from the Congress party to be talking about being proactive, reactive. Your party has not been active. Sir, what actions have you taken on many instances? I don't have the time. I have the examples, but I don't want to get there. Nikhil, what new did the Congress want to hear from the Prime Minister that your party was not impressed?
Pranesh, first of all, I'd like to start by paying my respects to Shaheed Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru, and the thousands of others who laid their lives and who spent years in prison to get us our independence. Secondly, the opposition sought a discussion in the parliament, not a unilateral statement. Thirdly, this was the chance for the Prime Minister to tell to the parliament and to the country what are the actions the government is taking with respect to the crisis going on right now, not what has happened with India in the past 12 years, 20 years, or 100 years. He goes around saying that this is the amount of crude oil storage that we have. That is not relevant. What is relevant is how much crude oil storage do we have, how much crude oil do we have in that storage right now. What is relevant is there an agreement with Iran to allow our ships to pass unfettered from the Strait of Hormuz? And I'm not talking about 3 ships that are just combining to 1.5 days of LPG storage. He talks about how he's condemning violence happening in West Asia very well. But the problem is that the official statements of the government only condemn violence from one side.
What is more official than the Prime Minister, Nikhil? Do you realize what you are saying? Is there anything more official than the Prime Minister? And you are saying we did not want unilateral statements. We wanted a discussion. Let me just tell you that leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi was not in the house. Not when the Prime Minister was speaking. Now, Sanju Verma, respond to what you heard from Ashwini Mishra and Nikhil Jain ji.
Okay, Pranesh ji. First and foremost, let me just say one thing. Taking cognizance of the problem at hand is half the battle won. And I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi unconditionally and unequivocally said, yes, there is a crisis at hand. He was not trying to shove the uncomfortable truth under the carpet. This speech of Prime Minister Modi was absolutely like a statesman who's acknowledging that, problem hai, but उस problem को resolve किया जाएगा डंके की चोट पर. And he gave out a lot of data which was very reassuring. I think the most important thing, without me being very verbose, is this, Pranesh. Since yours is a widely watched show, I have said this earlier too, but I'll reinforce very quickly for the benefit of your audience. We have today 250 million barrels of crude and fuel stock. Our refining capacity is 258 MMTPA. We have close to 26,000 LPG outlets which have not run dry, we have close to 100,000 fuel stations which have not run dry. Prime Minister Modi also made one very important point. He said that today we have more than 250 gigawatts of renewable capacity. We have 144 gigawatts of solar capacity. Don't forget, renewable capacity under Congress was just 35 gigawatt. Solar capacity under Congress was just 2.8 gigawatt. Then Prime Minister Modi also talks about 200 compressed biogas plants. He also talks about 40 lakh rooftop installations which have ensured that we use green energy, clean energy, and don't just depend on fossil fuels for our energy needs. We also have 22 lakh solar pumps. But I think the big story is this. Today, we have $710 billion worth of Forex reserves. We had Shivalik, we had Nanda Devi, we had Jag Ladki, we had a Russian Ural oil tanker with 81,000 MT of crude oil. And I'm just told that we had Jag, Vasant and Pine Gas, 2 more oil tankers which have crossed the Strait of Hormuz. So my limited point is this. Thanks to energy diversification and thanks to ethanol blending going up from 1% to 20%, Prime Minister Modi said we've cut down our oil import by 4.5 crore barrels a year. You heard that right. 4.5 crore barrels a year worth of oil imports have been cut down because we've diversified from fossil fuels.
The opposition's charge is that the government is being reactive, should have been more proactive. Tushar, I'm coming to you, Dr. Ranganathan. Let's bring in the AAP spokesperson, Professor Mondal. Dr. Joshi, The Prime Minister is speaking about safety of Indians in the Middle East. He's talking about how we've diversified our imports, how we are securing energy. Is पे भी politics?
देखिए बहुत सिंपल सी बात है प्रणेश. Politics is happening because the Prime Minister has lost his credibility. And why am I saying that? Because the common people are the ones who are suffering for the inefficiency of the government and incompetence of the government. And how long are they going to bear this brunt? Let me tell you why I am saying that and why my party believes that this government has failed the country. This government has failed the country because the Prime Minister did not address that how many jobs are being lost and what plans does he have for that kind of unemployment which has been generated because of LPG shortage. You know, what are you doing? He told the country that we are diversifying our import, but did he tell the country that what are the transportation charges we are going to pay for those kinds of imports? Are they going to be 4 times, 8 times, 10 times of the routine transportation charges or not? So he, as the Prime Minister, is always very, very non-specific and full in rhetoric. The problem is that the country has supported the Prime Minister whenever he has asked for the support. But the problem, he has misled the country during the times of demonetization. He has misled the country in PM Cares Fund, and he is misleading and misguiding the country right now. And that is the problem with the Prime Minister. Always nonsense.
What do you make of what the Prime Minister said and the politics around it?
I think it's too little too late. I did not understand even now why was the Prime Minister of the country who calls himself 56 inch ka chhatti remain quiet, especially when those children of Iran were brutally massacred by USA. That was a crime against humanity. Now you can laud the Prime Minister's words. I'm not even talking about condemning Khomeini's death. It is a bare minimum that when the schools are getting attacked by a quote-unquote civilized force, the most developed nation in the world, you should remain mum. The humanity, the bigger parts of the finer sensibility in a man demands that we condemn that. Look at that heart-wrenching picture. I mean, this world will never going to forget that. Even if the war stops, when those 160 odd children were brutally massacred and their coffins are being carried through trucks and trucks after trucks, those heart-wrenching pictures, what was their fault? For God's sake, you are fighting between two leaders, two countries, where those innocents were butchered, and we remain mum, especially our Prime Minister. We should have spoken out. We needed to speak out.
This is too little, too late, Dr. Ranganathan.
Pranesh, first of all, I don't understand why Professor Mondal has completely digressed and taken a position that is entirely emotional, perhaps because he is devoid of facts today, and he believes that if he were to talk about one-sided condemnation, then people will not ask the fact that the Prime Minister also, including every other Indian leader, did not condemn the butchering of Israeli babies at the hands of terrorists who were supported by Iran. The fact is, this was not our war, and in war such tragedies happen. Why should one selectively take out one such tragedy and then condemn it and not condemn other tragedies that have happened? But selectivity is the forte of Professor Mondal's party, not him per se, because he's a very dear friend. Let me turn to what the debate was. The debate wasn't about this. The debate was, are we secure? Is India secure currently under the Prime Ministership of Narendra Modi? And the answer is yes. Let me give you just the facts. As far as oil is concerned, we have reserves that will last us at least 74 days. As far as LPG is concerned, we have reserves that will last us at least 25 to 30 days. As far as food grain is concerned, I'm afraid here we have reserves that are 60 million tons, about half of, more than half of what they actually should be because of MSP and government procuring. The fact of the matter is we are secure as it happens today, as the situation is today. Yes, going forward, you can debate, and yes, the opposition must debate that. But I'm talking of the current situation. As far as LPG is concerned, because that question was asked by my good friend Ashwini ji, did you know that within a span of 24 to 30 hours, the government increased the LPG by almost 35%? How? Because the propane and the butane that was used erstwhile for other purposes were directed, ordered by the government to the oil refineries to be directed to the LPG pool. Now, another good step that has been taken is instead of dispensing 14 kg LPG in every cylinder, they have reduced it so that, you spread the availability of LPG. That's a good step. The government is actively taking steps. It is not that all the steps that it is taking in the long term are right. Yes, I have criticism on that. I have criticized government on that. But when you talk of diversification, the same people who were criticizing India from buying Russian oil despite sanctions are the ones today kowtowing and hiding behind a lamppost like a wet cat, when we have increased our Russian oil imports by 43% in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what Piyush ji is showing, but I hope he is people like Piyush are protesting why 2 rupees hike has happened on premium petrol. That is because that affects the 50-car cavalcade of people like Arvind Kejriwal who have to go for a small shopping spree in Punjab for 3 hours, and that extra kharcha jo aa raha hai petrol ka, us pe ye chilla rahe hai. The fact of the matter is, let us support India that is taking active steps, and I have talked just facts. If you have the guts, refute me on facts. Emotion बीच में मत लाओ.
इमोशन तो सर बीच में आएगा. प्रोपेन ब्यूटेन की बात कर रहे थे. They can only deal with all things profane. After they are done dealing in that, will they talk sense? Sanju Verma, you quickly answer Dr. Joshi. Tushar, I'm coming to you right after this.
Piyush Joshi of the Aam Aadmi Party was giving certificates to Prime Minister Modi कि Prime Minister Modi incompetent है, देश कैसे चलाना है इनको आता नहीं है. So let me just tell Piyush Joshi and the entire Darbari cabal, the world's largest vaccination drive, the world's fastest vaccination drive during COVID, where 194 crore doses were administered in flat 18 months. ये किसने करके दिखाया? 56 इंच सीने वाले नरेंद्र मोदी ने. But my final point is this, Pranesh, taking off from what Mr. Ranganathan said. I remember every 15 seconds television पर एक एड आया करता था केजरीवाल साहब का ड्यूरिंग पीक कोविड. मैंने वैक्सीन लगा ली है जी, मेरे पिताजी ने भी वैक्सीन लगा ली है जी, आप भी वैक्सीन लगा लीजिए जी. दिस वाज द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ अरविंद केजरीवाल. केजरीवाल ने घुटने टेक दिए. थैंक गॉड फॉर अमित शाह, थैंक गॉड फॉर नरेंद्र मोदी. अदरवाइज दिल्ली को तो आग में झोंक दिया था कोविड के दौरान केजरीवाल ने. एंड एज मिस्टर रंगनाथन सेड, देयर वाज अ सुप्रीम कोर्ट पैनल व्हिच फाउंड दैट केजरीवाल वाज होर्डिंग oxygen cylinders.
Tushar, according to the latest information we have, Ministry of Port, Shipping, Waterways, 2 Indian flag LPG carriers, Jag Vasant and Pine Gas, carrying LPG, have transited through the Strait of Hormuz this evening. So that's the latest.
Good evening, Pranesh. Look, let's take it one by one. Firstly, we are dealing with Iran on a vessel-by-vessel basis. It's not a blanket arrangement. The foreign minister clarified this. We are dealing on Iran on a vessel-by-vessel basis. So you'll have more news of more vessels coming in through the Hormuz. Number two, someone said we are paying a premium on the shipping cost. The global trade industry is paying a premium on the shipping cost, and that is to do with the insurance cost, which has gone up by 10 times at least. When ships are on the sea, there is an insurance cost attached to them, and after the war has started, that cost has gone up by 10 times. So it's not an Indian problem, it's not a Modi problem, it's a global problem. Number three, as much as we want the war to end, as much as economies like China, Japan, South Korea, amongst many want the war to end, there is no end in sight. You had a hint from Donald Trump earlier this evening, but in this war, no one has actually kept their word. The Iranians attacked the entire Gulf nation refinery plants a week after they promised they won't attack any. And right now, even as Trump says he's extending his 48-hour deadline by 5 days, let's remember there are US Marines on the way to the Persian Gulf. Number four, we have to understand that this is a crisis that is clearly engulfing the entire global trade industry. Okay. There is nothing India can do to stop it. But that is where our negotiation and diplomacy is helping. LPG, LNG, crude, we have ramped up production where we could. We have diversified imports where we could. But at the end of the day, for everyone,
no, but
the
Tushar,
opening of
Nikhil
the
is not even
very,
convinced
very
about our LPG storage capacity.
We are not here to convince Nikhil, right? We're here to convince the people of India, the ones actually running a business, the ones actually working, for a living. पीयूष जोशी हेयर सेज यहाँ रिटोरिक होता है, नॉनसेंस होता है. लोग भूल गए क्या इनकी पार्टी ने दिल्ली में ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स के टाइम जो किया था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने को क्या लताड़ा था? बाद में इनकी पार्टी को क्या कहा था कि दे हैव मैन्युफैक्चर्ड अ क्राइसिस.
ओके निखिल, क्विकली मेक योर पॉइंट. अश्विनी जी आ रहा हूं मैं आपके पास.
Pranesh, Dr. Ranganathan mentions about selectivism in condemnation of violence incidents. We did condemn the incident of violence against Bahrain by Iran, but we did not condemn the incidents of violence against Iran, where 165 school children were killed by America. On the point of LPG storage, India's storage
on violence, we've condemned violence in all forms. So let's just, that is a given. Nikhil, now, if you have anything more to say, please.
Has happened in Iran. No, Pranesh, let me also get on the very important point of the LPG storage, because Dr. Ranganathan made a factual inaccuracy for your viewers. He says that we have 25 days of LPG reserves. We can't have it even if we wanted to have it, because the tankage storage capacity, LPG tankage that the country has, as per the Ministry of Petroleum report 2023, I have already sent you the link earlier, is 15 days. So even if we had all those tankers lining up at our shores, we could not have.
Why are you sending me links? Send it to Dr. Ranganathan if you disagree with him. Go to his lab, he'll tell you. Don't send me links. 1 minute. Dr. Ranganathan, ये आपको challenge कर रहे हैं.
नहीं, देखिए, पहले ये निखिल ही कह रहे थे 4 दिन पहले कि हमारा जो स्टोरेज है कैपेसिटी वो 2 दिन में एग्जॉस्ट होने वाला है. That was underground LPG capacity. Overall LPG capacity, as I said, I reiterate, will last for 25 to 30 days. And I challenge Nikhil to say refute me. मतलब जो मन में आती है बात कह देते हो. And the fact of the matter is that 40% of what our LPG consumption is produced domestically. And that has increased by 25 to 30, in fact 30 to 35%.
No, Nikhil is still not convinced, and he wants to come to your lab to have this debate.
He's most welcome. I will take his blood and find out what organisms are. No, I won't complete.
Okay, Ashwini ji. But Ashwini ji, more seriously, देखिए, sir, one understands the compulsion of the opposition to, critique the government. That you must do, because, that is your job. That is how it is in a democracy. But to, make light of everything, हर चीज में कोई कुछ बोल रहा है कि शिप में है क्या, कितने शिप्स आए, PR stunt, etc., नया क्या बोला. That is not responsible commentary. So that's all.
प्रणेश, मैं एक सिंपल सी बात पूछना चाहता हूं चारों लोगों से जो टॉप फ्रेम में है पैनल के, कि अगर हमारा देश इतना ही प्रिपेयर्ड है, हमारे देश में इतना ही सब कुछ है, तो ये हजारों लोग लाइन में क्यों खड़े हैं? क्या इनको हजारों लोग जो लाइन में खड़े हैं, इनको वही मिल रहा है जो कैलाश विजयवर्गीय जी ने बोला था? इन लोगों के साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? आप मुझे बताइए, सिर्फ इतना बताइए. If you're so prepared, then why people are standing in line and not getting the gas supplies? Why the small businesses are closing down? Why the tea rate, which is supposed to be 10?
No, sir, 1 minute. This people standing in line is complete fake news. Yeah, isolated incidents, sir. And in a country as big as ours, it can. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. 8 minutes. And I'll give you a layman's example. Congress party में इतने जगह defection हो रहे हैं, dissent हो रहा है. Some people are, up in arms against your party. Even in Assam, ticket नहीं दिया. Does that mean कांग्रेस में अनार्की है, chaos है total? आप वो एडमिट कर लीजिए.
तो बाहर जाके चाय पीते हो आप? कभी पिए हो बाहर, या अपनी कॉफी मशीन की चाय पीते हो?
नहीं, मैं चाय बिस्किट जर्नलिज्म में नहीं हूं सर. चाय बाहर जाके चाय क्या पीना है? मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रहा हूं, आप उसका जवाब दीजिए. ये चाय अंडा आप क्या एग्जांपल देते हैं हर रोज आके? संजू वर्मा.
Thank you. Pranesh, now I just quickly want to give 3 examples. In 2012, Manmohan Singh, the then Prime Minister, raised petrol prices by 8 rupees a litre in one go, and when journalists asked him ऐसा क्यों किया, he said पैसे पेड़ पर थोड़ी उगते हैं. When cylinder prices were more than 900 rupees, रेणुका चौधरी mocked the middle class, saying जो लोग रेस्टोरेंट में जाकर 1000 रुपए खर्च कर सकते हैं, यदि सिलेंडर के दाम 900 रुपए हो गए तो कौन सी बड़ी बात है? And while taking oil bonds, which we just repaid a few days back, Manmohan Singh said, so what if we have borrowed via oil bonds? This is the liability for our children in the future generation. This is the way the Congress mocked the middle class of the country. Thank God for Narendra Modi. और एक last point खाली प्रणेश जी बोलूंगी. Saudi gas prices up 42%, Brent crude prices up 66%, and spot prices of gas in Asia up 167%. यहाँ मोदी सरकार ने सिर्फ 7% LPG प्राइस बढ़ाया और हाहाकार मच गया. This is the same दरबारी इकोसिस्टम जो कहती थी कि मोदी जी will never cap petrol and diesel prices. पेट्रोल डीजल प्राइसेस खाली प्रीमियम फ्यूल के लिए 2 रुपए बढ़ाए गए.
Dr. Ranganathan, in September 2012, and I'm open to correction, the then UPA government had put a cap on LPG cylinders. I think it was 6.
Yes, and this is something that the dichotomy that only Congress can come up with and defend shamelessly. You see, the panic was being spread over the last 2 weeks. From 50 lakh delivery of cylinders, it increased, the demand increased to 75 lakhs, and my good friend Sanju herself gave those figures. Now, something like that happens. It is bound to happen that you will have queues, you will have some areas, as you correctly said, where there is dearth and where there is demand much more than what the supply can account for. But that does not mean that this is a catastrophic situation that cannot be solved. Now, if today the Prime Minister has said something and that has assuaged people and panic is not being spread, and Priyanka Gandhi says that जो आज कहा है वो वही तो कहा है, कुछ नया थोड़ा ना कहा है. So then Congress has to explain कि जब कुछ नया नहीं कहा तो पिछले 2 हफ्ते से पैनिक क्यों फैला रहे हो अश्विनी भाई? क्यों फैला रहे हो यार?
अश्विनी जी बोलिए, आप कल को you will see a large number of cars or bikes in an area, बोलेंगे they are out on streets. इतना इनको घर नहीं जाने दे रहे हैं. सर ऐसे मत किया कीजिए. All that Dr. Ranganathan is saying that speak responsibly.
प्रणेश, आईना देखने के लिए बहुत दूर नहीं जाना पड़ता है. आप अपने ऑफिस से बाहर निकलिए और अपने ऑफिस के बाहर देख लीजिए क्या सिचुएशन है. सिंपल एज दैट. आपका ऑफिस स्टूडियो, मैं तो रोज जाता हूं, ऑलमोस्ट हफ्ते में 2-3 बार जाता हूं. वहां बाहर चाय भी पीता था. जो चाय पहले 10 रुपए की बेचता था अभी 30 रुपए की बेच रहा है. आप उससे पूछ लीजिए क्यों बेच रहे हो भाई? बेवकूफ हो क्या? मोदी जी तो सही सप्लाई आराम से दे रहे हैं.
नहीं
आप
सर,
इतने रेट क्यों बढ़ाए हुए हो?
नहीं तो एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट. तो अब गवर्नमेंट को रेगुलेट कर देना चाहिए. ये भी बोल दीजिए कि गवर्नमेंट को रेगुलेट कर देना चाहिए. ये कर दें. आपके अपने मंत्री ने बोला है सर तेलंगाना में कोई क्राइसिस नहीं है. वहां पे भी कभी चले जाइए. हमेशा स्टूडियो और स्टूडियो के बाहर रहते हैं. एंड बाय द टाइम द अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम यू वेस्ट ड्यूरिंग इन डूइंग ऑल ऑफ दिस, वो आप तैयारी अगर कर लेंगे सर तो it will help all of us. Uttam Reddy, I think, was the name of your minister who said there is no crisis unless it is Republic of Telangana, separate country, with its own supply chain. So think about it, Ashwini ji. No hard feelings, but please, don't, sir, please. I am not allowing any reckless commentary. आप बोल देंगे या लंबी लाइन है. There are many people who are watching this. Panic ऐसे ही होता है sir. Starts like this. Viewers, thank you for joining us. The news hour with Navita Kumar on the other side.